If you're dreaming of selling your business, you've got to watch this. Recently, a business owner came to me on the verge of tears. She came to me and she had worked tirelessly for 15 years. Blood, sweat, and tears. Head down, had everything taken away from her, and just needed to make money. She was not interested in learning about finances. That was not her expertise, and she just wanted to get to the finish line. She came to me at 56 and said, "Can you just tell me if I can retire?" And I said, "Absolutely." Gathered all her information, brought her into my office, showed her the numbers. I said, "If you wanted to retire today, you could." She burst into tears. I hugged her and I said, "Look, you don't even have to sell your business. We didn't even factor that in for fun. If you had to value your business, if you were to sell it today, what would you sell it for?" And she said, "Probably $100,000. I giggled inside. I knew her revenue. I knew her expenses. I knew her profitability for the last 15 years, and most importantly, the last 3 years. There's no way. And I said to her, I said, "Look, conservatively, you could sell this business for 1.5 million, but probably more like 2 to 2.5. Her eyes bugged out of her head and she said, "No way. And even if that's true, even if that is the value of my business, who would buy it? Who would spend that kind of, who has that kind of money?" And I thought, there it is. That's our own values, our own beliefs coming into play. Just because we believe that does not mean that that's the facts and what somebody else would value it as and what somebody else would pay for it. And I said, "Look, you don't know if you don't try." We're almost a year later. She put it up and I walked into my office one day and I had the biggest gift basket I have ever received with a handwritten letter, and it was, "Oh my God, Melanie, I sold my business for $2.2 million. The biggest takeaway from this is that if you're just kind of guessing at what you think it could be valued at or what you would pay for it, you're probably making one of the biggest financial mistakes of your life. Hire the expert, get the facts, remove yourself a little bit. Otherwise, just like her, you could be missing out on millions of dollars.